Good morning, Barney. Good morning, Tina's Barbie World and Sandra and Woods Witch. How are you? Stephanie's in the room. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Read the show notes. And I am normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but tomorrow is my youngest child's high school graduation. And so we will be busy with that all day. So I switched my walk and talk to Monday, and then I'll have one again on Thursday. So thanks for joining us. Good Monday morning. Mita's here, Kelly's here, Cindy Stitches. Hey, how the heck are you? Henrietta's here. Thanks for joining. And Lane, Elizabeth is here. Lindy, Kelly Van is here. Lindita. There we go, Lindita. Welcome in. Read the show notes. Thanks for being here. This is a seller chat. So this is for people who are approved to sell, or people who are wanting to get approved to sell, or people who already sell but need help learning the app and learning how to sell and whatnot. So if you're in those categories, or even if you're just whoever and you want to listen in or chat, welcome whoever's here. And please give me a follow and please bookmark upcoming shows. I am also broadcasting, multicasting onto YouTube and whatnot and Facebook. So all three places. I shouldn't say multicasting on Facebook and whatnot. I should say on Facebook and YouTube, we're live on whatnot. So welcome in. What that means is that if you want to watch a past show, if you come in late or you learn about a show I did that you want that information, you can go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is in the show notes, Draz on Whatnot, and you can watch the past shows under the lives on YouTube. So if that is helpful to you, that's where they are. Welcome in, Todd. Thanks for joining. Style Patch Kids is here. Vintage Artifacts is here. All right. So, how many of you have been watching the different kind of marketing, not marketing, the style update that has been coming through over the past week? They've updated the Whatnot logo. When you sign in, you get that fun little confetti and whatnot that bursts up. They've rearranged how you get to a few different places. Um, the whole look has just been kind of updated a little bit. It's kind of fun. And I know it can be frustrating if you're just learning the app and then all of a sudden they change something. So I know that's an issue, but it it isn't too bad. I don't necessarily love the extra step to get to some places from your profile, but they needed to make room for some other things. So it is what it is. And that is, continuing. You'll continue to see a few more things updated. The new logo, I love it. It's a kind of a new modern look and kind of spruces things up. I like it. Hope you guys like it. And yeah, and I think it's a little bit more just a little bit more modern and kind of cool looking, and it will look good out on the web to help get the app noticed, and which is always good for us as sellers. The more notice we get, the better, more people coming in to buy, and so that's exciting. Welcome in, Lucky Buys and Dilly. Please read the show notes. And Lane Elizabeth's here. Teresa is here. Thanks for joining. So my normal walk and talk days are Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm on today because my youngest daughter is graduating high school tomorrow. And so we're busy all day tomorrow doing that. And it looks like the app is kind of doing weird things because everybody has come out and joined again, including my phone and my mod phone. So it's being glitchy, it looks like. Thank you, Style Patch. It is exciting. It's also, I don't know, it's also that weird time of life where we're going to be empty nesters. She's headed off to college in the fall. She'll only be about 20 minutes away, but she's going to go live on campus, which is a good thing. Um, your baby is always your baby, and they they kind of need to get out and grow up a little bit, if you know what I mean. So that's going to be good, but she'll be close. And so, yeah, good things coming. Excited for her. She's done amazing. She 4.0 student. Um, she kind of has a plan, and she's an awesome kid, so we're very excited about that. As a parent, that's always your goal, is to get them to a point where they can, you know, you against the world on their own, and come back for advice and a little bit of support as needed. So very exciting. All right, so what does everybody need to talk about today? What's on your minds? What do you need help with? What can I guide you to for help? And how's it going? How is everyone feeling about your experience on Whatnot as a seller? What's great? What's not so great? And just give me some guidance on what you need to talk about and what struggles you're having. So let me think about my own while you're all thinking about what you'd like to talk about. I just think this is a regular thing, but just constantly having to strategize how to do your shows, what's going to work, what's not going to work, having those down days where you have a show that's not as good as you'd hoped, and then having a great show. And honestly, this is a roller coaster ride, you guys. So if you don't like roller coasters, this might not be for you. How long have I been selling on Whatnot? Since November of 2022. So coming up on 3 years. So stay home to shops. Hey, welcome in. I sometimes think that overall site traffic has gone down, but I might be wrong. So this time of year, it's at the end of May, all the way until the end of July, is the slowest time on any kind of online app. That is a normal thing because school starts getting out, people start going on vacations, the weather's good, they start doing outdoor things instead of being at home. And so that's a normal fluctuation. Um, and I'll just tell you a trend that I've found interesting. The last 3 years, April was my biggest sales month of the entire year, except for November, well, October, more October. That kind of that 30-day mid-October through mid-November. Other than that, April was my biggest month as far as sales. Isn't that interesting? So, it's normal. It's that normal dip as people start doing other things. And also, there's been a lot of uncertainty in the economy with, all the things going on. And so, people have a little bit less loose cash, so to speak, or they're hanging on to it a little bit to try and, figure out what's going on. So, but I mean, we continue to get new customers. So, how many of you feel like, I mean, it's hard for you to gauge if you're really new, but I'll tell you that for us, we get new customers every single show. And some of our shows, the number of new customers outweigh the older customers. So it is growing still. People are still finding it. As you go out talking to people and networking, how many people have still not ever even heard about Whatnot? A ton. A ton of people still have never even heard about it. And so it's still not, you know, a household term, household no, so to speak, that everybody knows about. And so we've still got a lot of potential for everyone to still learn about Whatnot and find it and come and just have it be part of their regular shopping that a lot of people do. Let's see. Are you the seller that had the group rate each other? That had the group to rate each other. I could be wrong. I think it was you. I'm not. You'll have to be more specific. The seller that had the group to rate each other. Because I don't think so. Because I'm not part of like a regular. I don't organize raid trains. But so I'm not sure what you're referring to. Style Patch says, I agree. Everyone I've spoken to has never heard about Whatnot. Yeah. So what is their reaction when you say the word? Style Patch Kids. Oh, he's asking Style Patch Kids a question about. Oh, so not a raid train. Yeah, I'm not sure what you were referring to, but yeah, if anyone else knows what Lucky Buys is referring to, please speak up. There are a lot of people who organize different events, or you raid me, I'll raid you kind of things. So I'm sharing the link with everyone and explaining how great the community is. Yes, awesome. What do they think Whatnot is? When I talk to people, I'm usually in a setting where I talk about that I sell online. And so they're already kind of, I'm usually outsourcing when I talk about it a lot. We had an estate sale / garage sale at my mom's house this weekend. Trying to get rid of a lot of larger stuff, furniture, stuff like that. I did go live from there for a few minutes. For about an hour anyway. And, I talked to people who came because we had people coming and they were buying, a large amount of things. And I talked to them about it. And they're like, oh, I haven't heard of that. What is it? And I explain it and they get excited and they want my link. And so I almost always end up sharing the link with everyone. So, and some people come on and some people don't. I always tell them, sign up as a buyer, go check it out and see if it's something that would maybe work for you. So, at the very least, I can get them to come in through my link and sign up as, just to check it out. So you should be sharing that all the time, everywhere you go, advertise it. Once Whatnot gets the merch store set up, so they're going to have an account that's a merch store where you can go in and buy Whatnot logoed stuff. Definitely go buy like something you can put on your car, or a t-shirt you can wear, or a hat you can wear, or I don't know what all stuff they'll have. But I would definitely, do some things so that you can kind of advertise it in your community, and definitely turn on local pickup. So, how many of you knew there was an option for local pickup? So, you can turn that on. You actually have to turn it on in your settings that you're willing to do local pickup. And then it allows buyers who are on the app in your local area it allows them the option to then have, instead of having it shipped, turn on local pickup on their side, and it will notify them if you have it turned on. Oh yeah, Stay Home to Shop has won a pendant and socks that are logoed Whatnot. So yeah, awesome. Um, so local pickup, if you're advertising locally more by networking in your community, and then you offer local pickup, then that works. How to get boxes for 100 item sale. So, Lori, be more specific, but I'm assuming you're saying you're going to do a sale where you sell 100 items. 100 items like separately, or a box full of 100 items? And where can you get boxes? Well, you can get boxes for free from the Postal Service. So as long as you're doing either priority or priority flat rate boxes, you just go online to USPS, the Postal Service, sign up for an account, and you can order the boxes for free, and they'll drop them off at your house. So, just do that in advance. You can also pick them up at the post office, but usually the lobby only has a certain amount, and it's limited to, the few sizes of flat rate boxes. They don't offer all the priority boxes. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so just get an account with the Postal Service, and it's easy. You just sign up for an account on there, order free supplies, and order all the sizes you want, and use either priority or priority flat rate boxes. Now, if you do a show where you're selling full boxes, make sure your shipping settings are set correctly. And you'll probably want to do custom shipping profiles that specify as they buy a box that it doesn't bundle their shipping. So the custom profile would be like large flat rate box one, set it for one item per box, meaning the whole box. And then don't have on the buyer pays max 921, have it set for buyer pays all, and then explain in your show notes and in your show that each box is separate shipping cost. Okay, so make sure you have it set up right. If you need help with that, ask some specific questions to help you get that set up right, because you don't want to have a show like that and have Whatnot's bundling system bundle their orders, and you have 5 boxes to ship to someone and they only paid for one of the shipping. So make sure you have that set up correctly. All right. Hey, Southern Gal, how you doing this morning? You get it. Okay, perfect. Let me pin in. Well, first of all, everyone look at the auction tab. So if you tap on your screen, the store, and open that up and make sure you're in the auction tab. See how it's underlining auction? In the auction tab, I've got just a few items that are all documents. I just removed that one that shouldn't have been in there. So I've got 9 items. Those items are not for sale. They're just the documents that I provide in this show for you guys to screenshot. So if you're new to me, please go through those 9 items and screenshot all the documents. And some of them have multiple pages. Okay, and those are all the tips and tricks and cheater sheets and guides for you to help you do all the things you need to on Whatnot. The one that's in purple and black, let me get it pinned, that says choosing basic shipping settings. That's the one that helps new sellers determine how to set your shipping when you initially start selling. It could change later on down the road if you start getting to where you're selling in huge volumes. You can change how you do your shipping based on what will work with the volume you're selling at. But until then, you need to have your shipping settings set correctly based on what you sell. And a lot of sellers who sell, lots of different types of stuff, because maybe they sell in the vintage category and you kind of have a little bit of all kinds of sizes of things. Most people curate their shows so that one show they're selling small stuff, another show they're selling bigger stuff. Um, because it's hard to do the bundled shipping without kind of knowing in advance how you're going to be able to ship that show. So make sure you go through that choosing basic shipping settings and kind of get an idea of how you're going to be able to ship what you are planning on selling. Now, if you sell small items or easy to pack items or things that are almost always going to fit in flat rate boxes, the way to go is flat rate, buyer pays max $9.21. All day long, that's the best option. And ultimately, if you can pull it off, that's the best option for all kinds of sellers if you get to a point where your volume matches your ability to, offset some of the shipping cost, because that offers reduced shipping when you have it set up that way. So, hey, welcome in, Lisa Be Youthful. Good morning. So, everyone that has joined, welcome in. And please read the show notes and make sure you are following each other. Feel free to share your shows. Tell us what you're doing. I can look at people's profiles if you're, in need of someone to give you a little bit of feedback. Just say the word and I'll try and, look at a few profiles. Welcome, Daisy Lane. Thanks for joining. All right. So, feel free to network and share your shows, and please do follow each other and bookmark each other's shows. Give each other support while you're in these seller chats, because it gives you a little bit of a boost to get some more bookmarks, more follows, etc. All right, we were talking about my auction tab. So if you click on the shop, the store, right now it's showing some pens, some markers that I have in my buy it now. If you click on the shop and in the auction tab, I have 9 documents that I share that you need to go through and screenshot all of the pages of the different documents, because that gives you all the tips and tricks and about a bunch of different topics. And I have the one right now pinned that is choosing basic shipping settings. And this is the easiest way I found to be able to share information with everybody without having to, email people, put documents on some kind of Google Doc or whatever. All you do is come in, go to those different listings and screenshot the pages, and you've got the information. You can also screenshot the show notes. I would recommend doing that because the 4-star bullets in there are the 4 super important places that you should be, aware of to make sure you know how to go get help when you need help. So screenshot the show notes, or if you're on an iPhone, you can copy and paste the show notes. You just hold your finger up above the line and hold it for a minute, and it'll pop up and say copied. Let me know if that doesn't work, but either way, you can screenshot them too. So Lisa Be Youthful has a makeup and skincare show today at 11. And yes, I can definitely look at your profile. Let's do that right now. So Lisa, let me see if I can get my finger to work here. View profile. All right, this is Lisa Be Youthful. She has a beautiful, youthful face, and she has a nice backdrop showing cosmetics. And A second, all right, and she's got some items available for sale in her 24/7 marketplace shop. That's good. And she's got a show today at 10 my time, 11 her time. I'm bookmarking it. Everybody, please bookmark it for her. And she's got the same consistent picture on her shows. So we've got some consistency there. And she has a nice logo script that she's using. The name is perfect for what she's selling. Lisa, be beautiful, like be yourself, be beautiful, and her name's Lisa. I like it. Okay, it works. She has sold 622 items, so she's been working on it for a while. She's got a 1-day ship time. That's awesome. So yeah, and I like that you have more shows scheduled out. Feel free to continue to schedule them out as far out as you want. That's always helpful because that's how you get found. So go ahead and schedule even more. It looks like you're doing like twice a week. Is that correct? So you're doing shows twice a week. All right. So yeah, looks really good. And I like your information. You might want to your little introduction about who you are. You might want to kind of bullet that out. I prefer it's me, but I also think it's better in just overall to kind of have that broken up into little like bullet points because then it makes it easier and faster for people to read. But I love the amount of information you have and what you shared because then people can get to know you a little bit. And I think that's important because it shows you're human. It kind of gives people a glimpse into, oh, she's just a regular person like me. And, I think that's important. So, yeah, just maybe bullet it out a little bit, break it up a little bit instead of one big paragraph. It's kind of, nice little bullets. All right. So trying to work towards 3 a week. Yeah. And you're fine. Everybody asks what's the best? The best is what you can do. What does your schedule allow right now? That's what you can do. Don't overdo it and get burned out before you even get started. If, you need time to learn it or your schedule is just too crazy busy with, you've got an 8-year-old grandson, you've got a daughter, you work, do what you can do. So that's important. There's no magic, do exactly this amount, and it just depends on your schedule, how fast you want to grow, what your goals are, and so on. All right. So yeah, looks great. So everybody, please give Lisa Be Beautiful a follow and bookmark that show today and bookmark her upcoming shows. And thanks for being here. Welcome in Curly and Into Toys and Kay Powling. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. I'm planning to start selling next month. I'm pretty new to Whatnot. I didn't notice any onboarding training. Do they not do training anymore? Yes, they do. So I need you to check the emails in your junk and in all of your email folders of the email address you used when you signed up for Whatnot. Maybe you didn't see those emails because they went to junk. Because you should have gotten, some emails inviting you to do all that kind of stuff. Okay. Including they would have sent emails giving you some incentives that if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to get extra money or make sure you check. And if you don't see any, they might have already gone by in your junk. But at the very least, if you go in my show notes, to Seller Academy, have on there, and make sure you do that. And I thought they were still doing onboarding. I'm not sure how that works. You do the Seller Academy and watch all those videos and go through all the little mini classes they have, so that you know how to use the app. And you're so welcome, Lisa. Okay, so you saw the incentives, but I'm still building my stock. Okay. So Daisy Lane has her first show tomorrow, preloading items today. Where do I enter show notes? I don't remember seeing that in Academy. Can I review your page? Yes. So the show notes are just after you've created your show, you just open the show before, and don't go live. You just open it. And then up in the corner is that little show notes, and you just tap it, and then you can add notes in there. And you can create them like on your notepad or something on your phone, and then copy paste. So if you want to kind of have a set thing you use regularly or whatever. All right, so Daisy, let's tap your name. Let me get you followed. View profile. I love your logo and your backdrop. Super cute. Very on trend with the kind of retro flower power vibe. Very cute. And she sells vintage decor, collectibles, tiny treasures, toys, dolls, and bears jewelry, ephemera, books, and more. Longtime collector and rehomer, mother of one, grandmother of 5, and have 4 great grandbabies on the way. Wow, that's awesome. 4 great grandbabies with another on the way. Started my selling career at 12 and collecting stuff and junk and stuff shortly thereafter. Love anything and anyone with a good story. That's awesome. So same thing, I would just break that up a little bit more so it's easier to read. But I love your logo and your backdrop. Super cute. And then in the shop, we've got a few items. That's good. You've got some things listed. And then shows. We have a show tomorrow. Let's get that bookmarked. And I love that we already got a lot of bookmarks. That shows me that you've been networking and preparing for a while. And so that's awesome. Your thumbnails are totally on point and super cute, and show what you have to offer. And I like that you already have some themed shows. So you have some shows where you've curated what you're going to sell in that show. So about 3 months you've been working on it. Okay. And that's great. I would advise people to try and jump in a little bit sooner if you can, because every minute you wait is, that much less time that you were already selling and growing. But if it takes you a while to get it all set up and learn the app, hey, at least you're prepared. So that's awesome. So let's get these shows bookmarked for Daisy. And she's got some that we're now just getting her a few bookmarks on. And again, your thumbnails are awesome. Super awesome, super cute. And I love that you have like a set schedule and themed shows. And, once you get started, you may find, that one's not what you wanted. It's not working like you wanted. And you can always change it up. But what's important is that you have all these shows scheduled, and we can get them bookmarked for you. And as people start coming to your first shows, they're going to be able to, get the future shows bookmarked for you. And even if you have to move them around or change them a little bit, that's okay. All right, Chat GPT did your thumbnails. See? Perfect. So all of her cute thumbnails. AI is the bomb, you guys, on creating beautiful, fun thumbnails. So use AI resources like Chat GPT, like Canva. I use Canva for my thumbnails. Use what you figure out and what works good for you. And there's no reason not to use that instead of slaving for hours trying to create some cool graphics. Use AI, tell it what you want, and it will create beautiful thumbnails for you that none of us have the artistic, or very few of us have the artistic ability to go out and do in that amount of time. All right, let's see. When you do your first private practice show, can people actually buy, or are they fake bids? No, people can actually buy if you do a practice private show, because it's a real show. It's just private to who, only to those that you invite. But if they buy something, then it is a legit sale and you need to ship it. So it's not a fake sale. On the one that is called a rehearsal, that's like a fake show. You don't actually sell anything because it's just fake. But the practice show private is a real show, and it does actually work like a real show. So if you sell something in there to someone that you've invited, a family member, a friend, or whatever, it will be a real sale that you will need to fulfill. No, I recommend both. It's just that if you don't want to have to ship anything from that practice show, just tell people not to actually bid. But I would recommend that you do have people, if if you have some family or friends that are willing to buy a couple of things just so you can practice the whole process, heck yeah, do it. You know. So rehearsal is kind of like, it helps you go through the motions and learn how to run the auction and all that good stuff. But start to finish, it's not really the full experience. And so I would highly recommend that you do practice shows as well. And that you actually, if people are willing, sell a few items so you can do the whole process from start to finish. Because then it helps you learn how to do all of it. And it will help you troubleshoot things you might have not set up correctly. And how much better is it to have a screw up on the shipping with your mom versus, a complete stranger, because your mom can be forgiving, and, if you screwed up the shipping, you could fix it easily with someone that versus, someone you don't know. So I would highly recommend using rehearsal just to kind of learn the basics of how to run it, but then use practice shows to actually learn how to, in real time, do a show, and have it be the kind of more true experience in a safe environment. So welcome in. Hi, Tamara. How are you? Hey, Wild Granny. How are you today? How's Camp T? Welcome in. Read the show notes. I'm on a Monday morning because tomorrow is my daughter's graduation. So I rescheduled this for today instead of tomorrow. My normal walk and talk is Tuesday, Thursday. I'm located in Utah, Looking Glass. How about you? All right. And Tamara's doing fine. That's good. And Camp says good morning. All right. I have pinned the choosing basic shipping settings. Oh, you're in Washington State. Guess what? I used to live there. So what part are you in? Washington is probably, I don't know, in all the states that I've been to and lived in, Washington State is probably the most beautiful, picturesque state on the entire country, in the entire country. Yeah, Seattle area is gorgeous. You couldn't pay me to live in Seattle right now. It's kind of a mess, but it's beautiful. I lived about 2 hours north of Seattle, right on the Canadian border. So it was beautiful there. Wild Granny had your first show back on Saturday. Oh, good. I know. It's like any time away and you're like, oh, well, I'm glad you were able to have one. How did it go? sad I wasn't able to come in. We did a big yard sale, estate sale at my mom's house, trying to clear some stuff out. And so I was busy all day doing that. We went live for a little while because it was slow. And so I thought, what the heck, let's go live and sell a few things. Oh, it went really well. Good. I'm so glad. So glad. And how's everything going? So Style says, so I'm looking to sell vintage kids stuff. Most of the people I know don't have small children. Can they use their Whatnot credits in my private show? Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can, because it's like I said, it's just it's a legitimate, real live show. And so as far as the transactions go and everything, it's this, whatever is normal in that show too. The only difference is that the people that come to that show come only because you provided the link. So that show doesn't show up in the normal show feeds because you've made it a private show. So, yeah, they should be able to use their credits and everything like that. Yep. And that's so what she's referring to is she's inviting all her family and friends to sign up through her link, and then you get a little bit of credit. And depending on the platform they're on, you could also usually get a little bit of free shipping bonus from Whatnot. I think they only offer that to iOS users right now, but yeah, you can get a little bit of credit to spend, and then they can come and support you. It gives you a little bit of a spiff back. Why not? Right? When I first joined Whatnot as a seller, people could get, I think they were doing $5 or $10. And then you got a little bit, it's a little bit better now for the people coming in new, whatever the incentive is. So definitely be sharing your profile and sharing the link through Whatnot so that people can come join, and share on social media. You guys share away, get people coming. It does work. It's not like a flood unless you're someone who already had a huge following, but if you share and provide that link, you will get people who will come and sign up for the app through your link, and it will give you a little bit of credit. So that's awesome that you can use. All right. Let's see. So as far as selling vintage kids stuff, just, that's, you just got to get it all set up and start advertising and sharing on social media and all that good stuff. Tamara says, I don't know your subject, but a question on posting pics. Can you talk about posting buyer and switching to auction and organizing for a show? Let's see. Yeah. Posting pictures. Can you talk about posting buyer and switching to auction and organizing for a show? So I think what you're talking about is when you add listings, and then you can switch a listing to an auction item. Is that kind of what you're talking about? So anything that you list, you never have to redo that listing. You can just change it to either auction, buy it now only in lives, buy it now on your 24/7 shop, however you want it to have it do. You just have to change that listing, go in and edit the settings on the listing. You can also, once something has sold, you can also go into your inventory and add more units and add it back to a show. So like if you sell something out, but then you have more available, you can just go into your inactive listings in inventory. You have to do it through the Seller Hub inventory, and then find that listing and then add more units and assign it to a new show. So once you list something, you never have to recreate that listing again. You just, go in and change it where you want it, and so on. Can you see them on phone and laptop and see both places? I think what you're asking is, can you see your listings on both places? Yes. It's a little bit easier to find them and use them when they've sold on the laptop, but you can do it on your phone as well. You just have to go through the Seller Hub inventory, find the listing, and then add more. It's just a little bit harder because it's a smaller screen. So you kind of have to, it's a little bit easier on the laptop. Let's just put it that way. But you can find it on both places. Style Patch says, I'm in Chicago and I'm surprised how many people have no idea about Whatnot. I hope to add many more buyers for Whatnot in other categories. Yes. We were talking about that earlier. It's still a newer platform that most people don't know about. And you may think, well, that's not a good thing. No, that's a great thing. Why is that a great thing? That means that we're still in that, infancy of growth. And that means the potential for you to grow and be in on, the beginning is still there. You want to be an early adapter. You don't want to be the person who comes on to sell on Whatnot, 20 years down the road when it's like everybody already knows about it and already has a shop and is already selling, and you're not new and you've missed out on, the previous years where the opportunity for growth was so much better. So Whatnot is still in its infancy as far as newness. And so the potential for growth is huge still. And you may look at it and think, well, it's so competitive. There's so many people selling. Well, yeah, but compared to some of the other platforms out there, Whatnot is a baby. So the opportunity is huge. Yep. So the potential is out, as every time you talk to somebody, network, tell them what you do. Don't be afraid to share what you're doing, how it's going, all of that good stuff, because it makes a difference to share, because you never know when someone's going to want to, hey, give me a link, send me a link. Hey, I want to be a seller. Can you give me your link to sign up to sell? And you make a little bit of money on it. And also, how many people are going to come on who don't want to sell, but will come on and be buyers? So, yeah, Stay Home to Shop says, I've gotten 2 signups for my YouTube videos and I've never talked to them before. Exactly. And same, I've gotten quite a few signups from just sharing it and on social media. Definitely get people coming on, and it's a beautiful thing because you can use your credits to buy other things. You get a little bit of a, kickback, and you get new customers. And if you have someone sign up through your link, it will tell you in the app when they come into your show. It will tell them that it will tell you right on the screen that they were a referral that signed up through your link. So you're like, yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Style Patch says, I'll mostly specialize vintage kids, but I have a lot of new tag adult clothing and modern kids. Should my first show be only vintage? I can't advise you on that. I would say, if you're mostly going to do vintage, you might want to focus on that to kind of introduce it that way from the beginning. But you may want to mix in some other stuff or have other stuff available if, because your first show is always a, lick your finger and stick it up in the wind. You just don't know, how it's going to go, what audience you're going to get. So kind of maybe be prepared that if nobody wants the vintage stuff, I've also got this other stuff that I can sell, and at least you can sell and get some customers, So maybe mix it in or have it available or have both listed, whatever you think is going to help you have enough stuff to kind of get you going, get you on off to a good start. So, but yeah, if you really mostly want to do vintage, try to have that be your main focus for sure. So that's what you start off with as far as what you're going to be known for from the beginning. So Tamara says, I'm on my third show, fingers up, still wiggling. Yes. It takes time, you guys. It takes patience. And, unless you have a huge following or you get really lucky and get some huge raid or whatever, everybody kind of starts out on that same traction of, be brave, go live, do the best you can do. The key is to always keep showing up. If you have a show, your first show, and it's, and you just feel defeated, defeated. Did you know there's a new word? Anyway, if you feel defeated or deflated, then, and you just give up and you don't try again, you've got to recognize that it's going to take time and effort to build this up. You're going to probably need to go live, about 10 times, maybe even to start really getting traction. So you've got to keep going. Don't give up. If you're in a good category and you've done all the right things and you're doing all the right things, it'll probably go faster than that. But be prepared to give it a really lot of good effort for quite a few shows before you start getting, some good traction and getting an audience that will keep coming back. Let me pin my top 10 tips and just kind of go over those really briefly. So this is my document that's proprietary to me. It's nothing that anyone else can't share, but I put this list together. So my top 10 list is because these were all the things that people kept asking about or, kept needing help with. And I'm like, we need a list. So I put this list together. And I'm referring to this one that says Draz top 10 tips that I just pinned. Tap the picture of the screen of the document and just blow it up big and you can screenshot it. My number one tip is schedule shows. That seems so basic. It's like, no duh. Well, but it's huge. It's important. It's how you get found, and you need to have a lot of shows on your schedule because that's how you get found. That's how people start bookmarking and being able to come back. If you schedule one show and have that show and you didn't have more shows for them to bookmark, how the heck are they going to find you again? If there's too many sellers and the chance that they're going to actually find you again if you didn't have them bookmark upcoming shows is pretty slim. So yeah, sleazy or steezy list. Wow, sorry that came out sleazy. Didn't mean it. Steezy list. Yes, I walk and talk. And thanks for joining. So schedule shows, you guys have them scheduled so people can find you and bookmark you and bookmark your upcoming shows. I would say if you have an idea that you're going to be able to go live every Tuesday at 5, let's say, you should have 10 shows on your schedule that are every Tuesday at 5 because the app allows you to schedule 10 shows at a time. If you know you're going to go live every Tuesday at 5, Why wouldn't you already have the first 10 shows already on your schedule? Yeah, sorry about that. Um, you know, there's no reason, no excuses. You can always go in if something comes up and change the date and the time. You can edit the show. Don't ever cancel and delete a show. Always just reschedule it, because if you cancel, you lose your bookmarks, and you don't want to lose your bookmarks. Okay. Number two, go live as soon as you can. I mean, if you feel like you have to prepare a lot, that's fine. But man, do it as fast as you can. Start going live as soon as you can, because that's how you start building your business on Whatnot, is starting to do live shows. And the longer you wait, the more you miss out on, the opportunity to grow. So I was approved to sell in August of 2022. I drug my feet for a couple of months and didn't actually go live until November. I regret that immensely, immensely, because I mean, you guys are in on the beginning. I was in on the really beginning, and those 2 months could have meant all the difference for me. I wish I had not waited 2 months. Okay. So don't do what I did. Get ready fast, go live. Okay. Yes, we were pioneers on the app. We were in the very beginning. I mean, things were so different. I can't even tell you how much different it was. There's just everything is new, everything's wonderful. They have so many features that we didn't have. There were no raid trains. There were, I mean, the features that they've added since we started selling in 22 are like night and day. Okay. All right. List is number 3. Get items listed everywhere. List items in your 24/7 marketplace shop, on your profile. List items in your auctions. List items in your buy it now that are available during auctions. Have listings. Listings are important. Listings are how people start to see what you have to offer. If you have no listings, you're like a store that someone walks into and the shelves are empty. There's nothing to buy, nothing to see. I'm out of here. Have listings. When you get established and people already know what you have to offer, and they know they can come to a show and you're going to have great stuff to sell, a little less important. But I still think listings are important, because there's still always people that are new, that didn't know, that don't know what you have to offer, and how are they going to want to come and stay if you have nothing listed. So always have listings in all the places. Are you better to do a long show like hour, or several smaller 30 minutes? So when you're new, I highly recommend the minimum that you do is 1 hour. And I recommend that really you should be doing like 2 to 3 hours, because that's how you get found, is to stay on long enough for people to find you. Because of how the app works, people go in and out of shows. People are in a show, that show ends, they go look for something else to watch. And if you're not on, you're missing all those people that are moving around when you're new. So you got to stay on long enough to be found. The very bare minimum is 1 hour. 1 hour. And that's usually the magic time when people actually do start finding you and will come and stick around. And then you're going to want to stay on for a couple more hours to actually interact and start selling. Meaning they'll start buying. You should be running things. That's one of my next tips. Number 6, always run your items, don't just show them. When you're new, a lot of new sellers make the mistake of going live and not running anything. They just keep asking people, what do you want to see? What do you want me to run? Don't do that. Just run. Just run items. It's an auction. You're supposed to be selling stuff, not showing stuff. It's not show and tell. It's show and sell. Okay. So you pick up an item. If you pick up an item to show it, you show it and then you run it. And the show time should be limited to just enough to show what it is. And then you should be running it as you're showing it even more. So don't do show and tell, do show and sell. I'm going to coin that now. Has anyone ever coined show and sell instead of show and tell? I just realized that's kind of catchy. All right. So show your stuff and sell your stuff. Don't just tell about it. You should be running it always. Okay. Now, tip number 4 is stay live 1 to 3 hours. I would say when you're new, minimum is 1. Stay on for probably 3 hours in your first few shows. Just plan on it because that's how you're going to get found. All right. Number 5 on my top 10 list that I have pinned is to get feedback. Do those private shows and have everybody tell you that comes in, that you invite in, do you have good lighting, good sound, good internet connection, all that stuff that you need feedback on. Best number of seconds to run an auction. When you're new, I would say probably, there is no magic answer, but probably 20 seconds. It's not so long that everyone's bored, but it's long enough that you're going to have time to make sure you've got, that you know how to do it. Because if you do shorter times, it gets kind of confusing. So 15, 20 seconds. If you're doing something where you're going to tell about it for a longer period of time, you could maybe do 30. The default is 30. But people tend to like faster paced auctions. It also depends on what you sell. Because if you have an older audience, like I sell fabric and craft items. When I try to do 10-second auctions, inevitably people miss the auction every 5 seconds and they're like, oh, can you rerun that? So I have to rerun it. So I usually set right around, I usually am at a 15 seconds. That tends to work for me. But, maybe you need to do faster. Maybe you need to do a little bit slower. Just play with it and see. Oh, thank you, Cheryl Ann, for the tip. You're so sweet. Appreciate that. 30 was long, 10 too short, so you ran 10 seconds. Yeah, so whatever works, just kind of experiment with it, but maybe start with 20 and then go down to 15. And then if that seems slow because you have a faster paced show, do 10 seconds. And I wouldn't experiment with sudden death until you know how it's going to work for your shows. Sudden death can be risky because if people aren't bidding, people can, if no one's bidding and people swipe in last second and you start selling stuff at too low of prices. So, be careful with sudden death because you do want to try and have, because the way sudden death works is that, someone could bid in last second and time doesn't reset. And then there's no chance for that FOMO, where someone's like, oh, someone bid, I want that. And then they bid. So, don't be careful about sudden death because you do want that FOMO opportunity where, if someone bids, inevitably, a lot of times someone else will want to bid because it's like, oh, they want it. Oh, yeah, well, I want it. You want that, FOMO opportunity. So be careful about using sudden death until you're more experienced and know when the right time to do sudden death is. All right. Thank you everyone for joining and thanks for being here. Read the show notes. I'm normally on these shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I had to switch my schedule a little bit this week because we're doing my daughter's graduation from high school. So that's exciting tomorrow. And so I'm not going to do this tomorrow. If you just joined us, make sure you go into my auction tab. So go into the shop And in the auction tab, I have 9 different documents that are all different kinds of tips and information sheets, where to go for help. Make sure you go through all the items in my auction tab and screenshot everything if you're new and need all that help. And also, I multicast onto YouTube. So if you missed part of a show that you want to rewatch, my YouTube channel is Draz on Whatnot. It's in the show notes. And you can go subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch my past shows under lives. And I've got some good ones on there. Earlier this month, let's see. So last week, we did a show that was about the guide that I have in there that is selling formats and pricing. That was the show I did, and I was in front of the camera, not on the treadmill. And then the prior month, so in April, towards the end of April, I can't remember the date exactly, I did a basic shipping guide show. That one is a good one to watch if you weren't able to be there, and it matches up with the guide that I have in the auction tab called Choosing Basic Shipping Settings. So make sure you screenshot that, and then you can go to YouTube and watch that show, and it kind of helps you learn, how to do your basic shipping when you're new to Whatnot, how to get it set up for you to have a good, grasp on how to do shipping from the beginning. So, yeah. Yeah, One Chick with a Glue Stick, that is an awesome name. It's kind of long, but it's catchy and memorable, so definitely a cute name. And you're so welcome. All right. How do we use those wheel games? Do we need to be approved for it? So the wheel is just a thing that it's just really a tool that you can use to run your giveaways. So you use it by going into the show. You could edit, and it's in the tools on the show dashboard, in the same place where you can create a poll, where you can raid, multicast, etc. It's in there. But it has to be a show that is set up as a not as an auction, but as a surprise show. So when what is it called? They changed the name and I always forget, where you're doing mystery, but they don't call it mystery anymore. You have to have your show set up as that type of show. Then it allows you to use the wheel to run things. Because people can use it. It's a randomizer is what it's called. The randomizer. Surprise sets. Thank you, Stay Home to Shop. I'm like, it's surprise something. So I think your show has to be set up as that from the beginning in order for the randomizer to even be available as a tool for you to use, because people will use it to choose like the number they're going to pull or the giveaway type things. So yeah, it's in the, so if you set up, I can't show you because it's not, because I'm in a show that's not set up that way, but you just hit the three dots, and it brings up that toolbar of different things that you can do in the show, and it will be in there. The randomizer, it will be in there. So that's how you get to it. So if you set up a show as a surprise set show instead of an auction show, then the randomizer will be available as one of your tools that you can use. Does that make sense? And just go into the help.whatnot.com and type in randomizer, and it will explain it for you. It will detail it out for you. Yeah. I don't use it much because I don't do surprise sets, because it doesn't really work very well with what I sell anymore with the new rules. Because you have to have, when you do surprise sets, everything has to be uniform. and you have to do it a certain way. And it just didn't really work very well for what I sell. So I rarely do anything like that anymore. So then we need to put the products in, right? Yes. So go and read randomizer, go and read surprise sets, and make sure you know what you're doing with that, because that can get you in big trouble. Because the reason that surprise sets is all changed up is because people were really abusing how mystery shows worked, and it was basically gambling without following the rules correctly, and so they had to really ratchet that down because people were misusing how that was supposed to work. So make sure if you want to do anything, they're a lot of fun. They can be the super funnest shows because they're very entertaining, but you have to make sure you're doing it correctly according to the rules so that you don't get in trouble. Because every state has different laws about gambling, and that's why your giveaways need to be run through the Whatnot's giveaway system, and your shows, if you do any of those surprise set shows, you have to follow the rules exactly, because otherwise, not just you, but the whole app can get in trouble if they're doing things that are deemed as gambling without using the proper way of doing it. So, yeah, be very careful with that. Make sure you go read all the rules about how to do surprise sets and how to use the randomizer so that you don't get yourself in trouble as a seller. Because what happens then is, people come into your show and they will complain if it wasn't done fairly or the way that they thought it should be. You get reported, and then you could get suspended or kicked off the app if you aren't doing things according to the rules. So make sure you go read all of that information and do it correctly. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining. I actually need to get going here pretty quick. So tell me if you have any specific questions, something you're looking for answers for. Make sure you screenshot the show notes, screenshot all the documents in my auction tab. And again, if you like these shows and find them useful, please bookmark my upcoming shows on my schedule. The next time I'll be doing this is Thursday morning. And then I changed my thumbnail. So the next one after that, this is my new thumbnail, walk and talk. So just make sure you're bookmarking those. This is the old logo. I updated it, made a new fancy logo on my thumbnail. So just bookmark those shows. And then my next community seller chat is on, let's see, when do I have one scheduled? The 28th. That one I'll be doing where I'm sitting and talking with you and into the camera instead of on my treadmill. And that's a community seller chat. And then I'll have one in June. I don't have it set specifically, but the one that's on there right now is the 11th. So bookmark that. That'll probably be my sponsored community seller chat where we'll give away some swag, some Whatnot swag. So make sure you have all those bookmarked. And then I'm going to be gone for 2.5 weeks to China. So I won't be on for a couple of weeks. My husband will be here doing a few shows while we're gone. I'm taking my daughter to China. She was born there, and so I'm taking her back on this big trip, homeland tour. So that's exciting. And yeah, so that's kind of what's coming up. And thanks for being here, everybody. I'm going to go see who we can raid into. Let me check and see if there's someone else doing a, community show that we can raid. And if there's no one doing community show, we'll raid into someone in one of my categories. Let's see. I don't see anyone I know doing a community show. So let's see. Let's go raid into someone in either sewing or crafts. Let me see who's live. Let's see. All right, we're gonna go raid into Kristen Swain. She's a big seller in craft category, and she's doing some palettes. She bought a palette of craft stuff, and so we're gonna go raid into her, give her a little bit of support. And she's got a good audience, so that's awesome. So come join in there, and thanks for being here. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Let me get this raid started here. And let's see. There she is. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you soon. You are welcome. Here we go.